You are tuning in to a Goldylocks Productions presentation of the Connecting With show with Betty Jane Ware. Betty Jane is a third-generation seer and highly intuitive reader. She is a practicing witch with over 30 years in the craft. An international psychic, Betty Jane has a number of well-known personalities as her clients. Betty Jane is very much to the point, a natural reader, very intuitive, with whom you immediately feel a connection with. Should you have a reading together, you will be calling back for future appointments. Betty Jane is currently working on her 4th book in the Connecting With book series. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number is 323-870-3791. Press 1 to get into the queue so that you may ask Betty Jane a question. Enjoy this healing and insightful show.
Hello, and welcome to the Connecting With show. And I'm Betty Jane. And I'm really pleased tonight that my special guest is our own Tiffany. And I affectionately call her Roz sometimes, because not only has she her own intuitive gifts and spidey senses, I call it, but she is also my producer. So welcome, Tiffany, and how are you tonight?
Hello, I'm doing well, and thank you so much for having me on your show, at least the front part of your show.
Yeah, you're my guest every week.
Yeah.
So here we are, 2 witches on a full moon. What are you up to this evening? Besides,
I'm telling you, powerful, powerful energies. We got the full moon and Mercury in retrograde. So if you haven't been pulled before to really start taking care of some inner work, you're going to really feel it today.
Oh, absolutely. I guess that's why I started my morning off with pre-op stuff. Not because I'm sick, but because I'm getting LASIK eye surgery, and I'm looking forward to it this week. So, woohoo! So what have you got?
Yes.
Have you got planned for the night? What have you got planned? I know we're all doing our healing and our work to enrich and enhance. And as our moon starts to sort of wane, we're going to start working on releasing some things. So what are you working on?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. The full moon was at its fullest point early in the morning. So I had started last night and then went through today. And so then tonight, it's just making sure that my crystals are in the windowsill to get charged. So actually what I do on each full moon is I don't even pull down or close my curtains or my blinds, and I just let that moonlight pour into the home, because it really does make the home feel so good when you have that shining in. And so I, do that, and so I have. So I knew I was going to do all of this earlier because I do have family over. They're watching hockey right now, and so then I'm going to spend some time with them after the show. So I did all the moon celebrations and ceremonies earlier. But really, we're working on it all the time on the inside. We really are. What we want to manifest, what we want to make happen, always creating that blueprint within us, whether we want to call it your wants and your wishes, because that is how we manifest.
Absolutely.
And we do it all the time, because this is where illness comes from. Believe it or not, you've manifested a disease in your body. We've manifested illness. And more people are catching on to that, going, oh, wait a minute, I need to watch my thoughts. I need to watch how I speak to my inner self and my body.
Absolutely. It's so funny because, as many of our listeners will know, I was at the Psychic Fair in Toronto this weekend, and I was doing a demonstration, as I often do, and we were talking about introduction to spirit guides. And a gentleman in the front row came in late, interrupted the class, and when we did the working, he came up with the name Lucifer as his spirit guide. Well, of course, if you are the village witch, such as you and I are, we don't really recognize the Lucifer. So it was very interesting, and that within about 6 minutes, he got up and walked out. And I just looked at my class, and I went, and you get what you manifest. And they all sort of laughed. But it took that uncomfortable feeling away. But it's so true. We do that in so many areas of our life, be it a bad luck trend that we're having, or not looking after ourselves. And that's just not just our health. It's our state of mind as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. And you know, and I knew you caught on to him right away. You knew that. But, you know, the thing is, to have thrown it back on, well, Lucifer's not bad. Lucifer means light. Oh. And I think a lot of people don't realize that our Statue of Liberty is a Luciferian statue, which means a light bearer. And but you knew he was there just to cause issues. And to most people, Lucifer is something bad. But it's not when you do your research.
Oh, absolutely. And what's really interesting about that is everybody, the minute he came in and sat down, as I said, he was late. Everybody sort of backed off for him. And I was thinking, dude, really, I don't know what you've attracted, but you don't really need it here for much longer. And it worked. So I've been noticing on your page on Facebook and things like that, you seem to have a new venture. Tell me all about your new crystal visions.
Oh yes. This is actually a dear friend of mine. She had opened the shop 4 years ago in a different location, and she's moved several times. And I've worked out of her shop off and on over the years. And we almost partnered one time before, but the timing wasn't right. And so we both just had to grow some more. We had to go through our thing. And when we met back up, because our birthday is a day apart, the end of December, so we celebrated our birthdays this last December. And it was, ever since then, it was bam. I mean, it just really rolled right into, when we came back from having our birthday lunch, to her shop at her old location, she was presented with papers to leave, pretty much to sign a new lease, which was totally crazy and control freakish, you know. And so she's like, "Well, I've got to move. I got to move now." And it was just so interesting. It was like, okay. It was like we both knew the timing was right, because then she was like, "Let's go look at shops." And her and I went and looked at locations for like a week. But we both went together, and then it was like we saw it, and it was so funny because actually 2-3 years ago, I had a vision of this shop and told her, "You're going to move one day, and this is what it looks like." And we forgot about it until we walked in the shop and was like, "You know what? This is the place." And she's like, "Okay, let's do this together." And I was like, the timing, it feels good, it feels right, let's do it. And it's been nonstop since January. It's been a lot of fun. It's we offer a lot of services there too, of course, the readings and healings. And there's also a Himalayan salt cave sauna we have. It's infrared sauna, but you can go sit in it, and you're surrounded by the Himalayan salt. And it feels really wonderful. It feels like you've been at the beach without having to deal with the sand.
Awesome. I've heard so much about that. Now, I know we have a caller, so whenever you would like to put them through, maybe we can answer some questions and give some full moon wisdom tonight.
Oh, absolutely, sure. The first caller is area code 917. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I would love some full moon wisdom.
Great. And who are we speaking with, and where are you from?
My name is Ellen, and I'm calling from New York.
Okay. And how can we help?
Will you take a reading on anything? Or anyway, you can decide whether or not you feel comfortable with it.
Okay.
I'm trying to make a local move, and I haven't yet found the apartment that's right for me. And I'm supposed to be moved in by May 1st. So anyway, what do you see happening?
Tiffany, do you want to go first?
Sure, yes. I do see a move for you, but not as close as you think. It's still going to be New York and pretty much be, are you around the Brooklyn area or the outskirts of the city now?
I'm in the Bronx, and I wanted to move into the Brooklyn.
There you go. That's what I see is Brooklyn. That's, that's where you're going to be. It's not too far out, but, right there. So Brooklyn's where you're going to be, and it's going to happen. I shouldn't say it's going to happen. It's already happening. The wheels are moving, and it's just keep working on it, because this is not the time to just sit back and, oh, look, it's going to magically happen. You know this, right? Just keep it like what you're doing, because you are manifesting this. You are making this happen. And you're going to really start to see within the next 2 weeks, it's like fishing. Once you catch that fish and you pull it out, things go by really fast. And that's what it's going to feel like for you. Once it's all lined up, boom, it's going to go really quick.
Okay. Absolutely. I have to agree. It's just quick. It's just going to go really quick, so I hope you've already started packing.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
You might have heard me close the drawer as we're talking, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 2 weeks from today, you see it's starting to come together. Today is the 11th, I think, isn't it? Today's the 11th,
yes, I believe so.
So that would be the 26th. So, yeah, that would still give me enough time to make the move. I would just have to act real fast.
Absolutely.
Right, that was
doing all the groundwork now.
I'm sorry? Yes, that's why I was like, doing what you're doing. That's why we say keep doing what you're doing, which is packing, getting prepared, getting ready, so that it's just going to be all it's going to be fast but smooth at the same time.
Okay. That can happen. I like that. Thanks for the words of encouragement.
Thank you. And you have a great evening. Enjoy the moon.
Thank you. Yes, and let me listen to the rest of the show.
Okay, Ellen, yes, we've been on hold. Thank you so much for calling in. And see, this we're talking about manifesting. Ellen manifested this to make this happen. So it's really beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's so interesting that you pull that when you can pull. Are you looking at like Brooklyn? I wouldn't even know Brooklyn. Well, I do know Brooklyn's a part of New York, but I think that's so cool because we have people coming, when we have guests and things from different areas that we can identify with certain parts of different states and cities. It's always helpful. We can be that that validation to a client.
I heard my guide saying I saw this map. And it was like she's not going too far, but it's like from one borough or one village or whatever they want to call it, to the next. And they showed me Brooklyn, and I was like, okay. I know how it works. I love
it's really interesting
when
that voice comes out. Oh, yes. When that voice comes out and you don't have any clue where it comes from, and you're like, okay, I don't know how I know this, but I do.
Right.
I think that's how sometimes when you go to a place and it feels familiar and you're wandering around a town or a city or wherever and you know where you're going. Cool.
Yeah.
I had a friend say to me in the UK, do you ever get lost? And I kind of looked, I went, well, not really. I might get a little confused, but I never really get lost. And he said, well, I guess that's your spirit guide telling it. And it's funny because he doesn't think he has any ability whatsoever. And I went, well, yeah, I guess that's sort of how it works. I hadn't really put it together that way before, but yeah, I guess that's how it works. I don't know. It just happens. Can't explain it.
Well, I think with you too, though, it's a little bit of both. It's your spirit guides, plus you've had past lives there, so you know where you're going. I mean, things might look a little different modern-wise, but you get the gist of the general area.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes it's really familiar. I can remember a couple of years ago going with my husband, and I was just going places. And he's like, and he stopped me, he goes, how do you know? And I laughed at him, and I went, I'm just going where. And finally I looked at him and said, oh, come on, dude. And I pointed up, and there was a little sign that said, Covent Garden was where we were going. And he hadn't seen it, so he just thought I was amazing up until that point. Still do. Oh, he just said he still does. So I see we have another caller. So why don't we take caller number 480? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you this evening?
Wonderful. My name is Mike.
And where are you calling from, Mike?
I am in sunny California.
Oh, I'm jealous. I'm in rainy Toronto.
Oh.
Well, yes, torrential downpours today. How can Tiffany and I help you this evening?
Yeah, I'm starting a new job, and it's just a bartender server position, and it's with a brand new restaurant in our area, and they're just finishing up we start on Thursday. Hasn't opened yet. Probably be like another within the next week or so, and I just kind of wanted to get an idea, kind of feel, for management, kind of how things are kind of gonna, how it looks like it'll go for me.
Okay. Tiffany, did you want to start?
Sure. It's interesting you said management, because that's exactly where I see you, as in management. And I also see you with doing several things, because you are so multi-talented and can really take on several jobs at the same time. But the main focus here should be getting into a management program. You do have a lot of skills, and you do have that job potential in the background to be in management. But I feel like they're going to offer you something else too. We should always jump on any type of training or any type of whether it's like education or anything, but I feel like it's a management type of training program that you're going to go through. And you may feel hesitant on it, even though you want to be a manager, because of the requirements.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a manager. I've got too many other, like you said, you were right on in regards to, I've got other things going on, and there's, multiple business launches and things like that. So this is just to pay the bills.
So you're going to be offered this management thing, whether
gotcha.
you want to take up that position or not, because it's going to require some additional training, and that's where is that what you want to do? As far as, oh my gosh, the requirements for it may make you hesitate. You're not going to like that.
Yeah.
So
60 hours a week.
That's where that hesitation is. But I actually, yes, it's management. So that's the position that you're going to be offered if you haven't been already. But however, I have to tell you, when you first came on, why aren't you working for yourself? Because you can make it happen. You just have to believe. You really do. But I do see you in the next several years, and maybe it's management type, because you are that leader. All right. You're just a natural born leader. So you're going to get to the top of any job very quickly, whether you want it or not. But then that requires more responsibility, and that's what makes you kind of, I really didn't want to be this involved, not for somebody else, not for another company, not for another person. I want to do it for me. So do that.
Exactly.
So go do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that's actually
my question would have been.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to say, do you have a piece of this place? Do you own a piece?
Do I have a piece? No. This is just to take care of the day-to-day bills.
Okay.
But it's funny you say that too, because the last place I left, the chef is putting together a business plan, and we're gonna present it to one project that my business partner and I are launching in the next month or so. It's slowly rolling. He's very successful in two other areas, plus a family, so it's time and stuff. But we're actually going to some of his buddies who are big money, pitch a restaurant concept to them.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I did keep hearing that the same as Tiffany, that that the potential is there for either a buy-in or management. So if they do offer training and things like that, it would help you if you decided to open your own place. So don't say no to the possibility, because having somebody else pay for your training might be a good thing.
That's very true as well. But again, their management is 60 hours a week, whether that's 12 5-hour days or 6 10-hour days. And if I'm going to work that much, I'm going to work. If I'm going to work that hard, I'm going to do it for myself.
Oh, absolutely. Working smarter, not harder, but it's
exactly.
there.
Yeah,
right.
And no, that's
something else too, Mike, that your guys are saying is, they show me how you bounce from job to job to job to job. And they're like, this is the year to get settled. This is the year you need to get grounded and rooted, and let's go.
Yep.
All right, that's all I'm here to say.
No, it's in process.
Cool.
Right.
That's awesome.
It is a process, absolutely, but they're validating that this is the year that everything that you've been through pays off for you. Stay focused and make it happen.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you very much for your call tonight.
Thank you both.
Thank you, Mike. Many blessings.
You as well.
So,
wow, those are some great calls. People manifesting, people making it happen. Let's go, people.
Absolutely. And isn't this now tell me, why is tonight the pink moon? I saw that somewhere on Facebook, and I was like, why is it the pink moon? I looked, it doesn't seem like pink. It looked the same color to me.
I thought the same thing too. I was like, why is it called the pink moon? And I used to remember why it was called the pink moon, and I forgot because it doesn't look pink. So I don't know. Maybe some people think it's
my husband just typed up.
What did he say?
My husband just typed up that it's something with Mars reflection or something like that of it. So I don't know.
Oh,
Mars
really he would know about Mars. He would know about Mars.
Yes, my husband would know about Mars. I think he's from there. No, isn't that? Yes, men are from Mars. That's right. So there you go. So, what's upcoming in the life of Tiffany? What upcoming events do you have?
Oh wow! So it's all beautiful. How you're the same way. We work in layers. It's like so. And where we feel like we have so many different facets and so many different areas of our work, so to speak. But it's like I have my own healing company, Goldylocks Temple of Healing, which I work out of my home. So I still see clients that want healing or readings here. For those that are used to coming, all of my clientele is already established, and they don't want to drive too far. I'm not going to make them drive because the shop is about a half hour away. So I do have, some people that are just used to that, and that's fine. So still work out of the home. And then with the Crystal Visions, with the shop now, the brick and mortar actual shop. So it's fun to provide all the services there and even sell and have some natural and organic products and all sorts of different products, whether you call it it's a new age store, incense, herbs, herbal teas, all things like that. But I also am the producer of Goldylocks Productions, and we have been growing and expanding. We have a new show that starts up Thursday night with their new host is Tammy Deans, and her show is going to be called Behind the Screen. So, and that's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So it's the Goldylocks Production Company we are, as a team, we are growing and expanding. And that just seems to be the time that we're in, this growth and expansion. And we're all expanding. And it's great. And I see how busy you are. My goodness, Betty Jane, you travel quite a bit.
I am. I'm on the road. I'm home this weekend, which just seems like the first weekend in forever. And then I'm in Ottawa, and then I'm in Oneonta, and then I think I'm in Salem doing Witchcraft Boot Camp. And Oneonta is in New York, and it's about 25 miles from the Baseball Hall of Fame. So I'll be reading in there that weekend. And next week, my guest on the show is Diana. Friedel, who runs the show that I'm doing in Oneonta, so that'll be very interesting. And then I think I have a couple of little mini shows, and I'm off to the UK again. So it's busy like you, but it's all good. And so it's keeping busy keeps me out of trouble. So I'm known as the girl at the psychic fair that has the Werthers. So everybody comes by and has Werthers at my booth. So, and I always think it's really great because the more they have, the less I do. So it's awesome. So,
right.
Yeah. It's busy, but you have to be busy. And I love the life that I have. I like being on the road. I like coming home. How do you like working from home? Because sometimes that can be a little bit awkward.
It's because it's not every day, and you know this too. When we have when we're our own boss, so to speak, every day is not the same, and it's really beautiful. I have a lot of time at home. And then, it's really nice during the week. There's time at home, and then there's time at the shop. So it's not like every day is the same thing. So it's just really great, that variety. And I think that you and I both like that type of variety.
Yeah.
In what we do.
And I have, like I say, I have a big dog, and that scares anybody that comes to my door. So that's good. So I'm always well protected.
Oh, and working from home too. I do. It's required appointment only. And people have come to the door, and we have dogs. We have 2 big dogs. I just won't answer the door because it says I do have a sign in the window that says appointment only. Please call and make an appointment. So
absolutely. And I'm the same way. I don't even give out my information unless I give out my stuff. Yeah, I live in a complex, so they can't find me unless I tell them.
Oh, yes, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Now, I know that somebody is going to tell us about that pink moon, and I'm going to, and it's really funny because you're going to hear my husband, who is actually sitting right beside me, but he's calling in to tell us about the pink moon. So go ahead, Pat.
Hi, Pat.
Hello. Wow, I actually hear your voice too. That's cool. I'm just phoning in because the pink moon is just a color name they pick for the moon, and everyone has a different.
Feedback. Pat, you might have to leave the room so that there's feedback.
I hear that. Yeah. Okay, is this better?
It is for me, but anytime he's not here. No, just teasing.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Yes.
Okay. The color is just picked every month as a tradition with the indigenous people of North America, and every month is different. And there's a strawberry moon. I think it's June. Sturgeon moon in August, something like that. So pink is not actually pink. It's just the name they gave it. So that's what it means.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Right. Strawberry moon. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll hang up now. Okay.
Oh.
Thank you, dear.
That's it?
Thank you, dear. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. It is baseball season now. But it's good to have people tell us these things. It's good to have people tell us these things. Exactly. So, did the Rangers make the playoffs?
Yes, they're playing Montreal.
Oh, my husband just yelled it at me. Thanks for that.
Yay!
Yay! Yes, we'll have conversations a little longer in when the Leafs and the Rangers play.
I know, right?
I believe blue and white. There is no way I'm going to say the Leafs are going to lose. I am sorry. I might know differently, but I can't ever actually enunciate it. That would be wrong. So
that
where
would be
is
wrong.
that lovely accent from? Yeah, where is that lovely accent from?
Huh?
Where's
what
your
accent?
What accent? Yeah, okay. I know it's a little bit sad.
I'm actually from Virginia, so I grew up in the South.
Okay.
And it's so funny. I have to tell you, I call everybody sweetie by habit, but I tell people if you don't want me to call you that, then let me know. And just because it's to me, I don't even think about it when I say it because it's just a greeting, like yes ma'am, yes sir, sweetie, we grew up with hearing sweetie, darling, sugar, all this stuff, but sweetie just stuck with me. But so yeah, that's every once in a while you can hear this accent. So.
Absolutely, but it's interesting because we never really think we have an accent until somebody else points it out.
No,
and,
right.
It's funny how that goes, but
Sure.
it is what it is. So, do you have any classes or workshops coming up that you're teaching?
I have online courses, and just because of time-wise. And now at the shop, we could probably put together. We've already started healing circles and meditation circles, and so we can do some more teaching from there too. But I actually prefer one-on-one with courses. And so how online courses work with me is that you check out all the courses that I have to offer on my website, whitesagewoman.com, online courses. And I provide you with the material, and we will communicate several times during that course via Skype, so you can answer questions, and it is kind of face-to-face for those that aren't local. And it's an at your own pace type of learning, and so it's really great for those who just are so busy and cannot, go to some place for 4 to 6 hours for a class. So this is at their own pace, and it's really popular.
Well, that's great. I know for myself, with my clients, I prefer to see them face to face, but it's not always easy to, because let's face it, there is distance, and so sometimes the bricks and mortar face-to-face meeting is not going to work. But doing things through Skype or email or telephone even is great. But I do like to do my courses any way I can. And what I found in Toronto that works for me is my psychic cafe, and we're getting more and more people out each and every week, and it's just really taking off to the point where I now have people who want to franchise it, which is not how I had originally envisioned it. So I'm working hard on those. But if anybody wants my contact information, it's kind of cool. So I'm looking at that right now.
Great.
Yeah, as you know, busy working on my website, or I say working on my website. That's one of those things I farm out to Tiffany and say, Tiffany, I can't do this. I broke my website again. And she fixes it for me. So, things are moving for me. So it's good. And this is the time of year I like to do my teaching and my classes. So I see actually less clients through the summer, but I teach more for some reason. So it all works.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it all works out. That's nice.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
So I see you're a reverend. Does that mean you can marry people?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a spiritual, a metaphysical, pretty much it's I embrace and all faiths and beliefs, and so will provide services for all those of different beliefs and faiths, whether it's marriages or naming ceremonies, house blessing ceremonies, with their home and property. So just whatever that they need. Weddings are fun, especially the hand fasting. Those are really cool. So, but yeah, and then of course, there's spiritual counseling, and for those that do want a little bit of counseling before they actually get married, we go through that as well. That's optional. Some people do ask for it. And so, especially if they're young, their parents request.
Absolutely.
So it's just a lot. It's just great to be in service. That just to be available for those in need.
Now, when you do your readings, do you have an age requirement or anything like that?
Yes, to be alone, it's 18. But if the parents and the child both say yes, they want to do that, and they're under 18, then I have the parents sit in. With the agreement, though, that the parents hold this energy back and keeps their mouth shut. So if they, and then I have to stop it, because we know this, that people can push energy, they can try to manipulate if they don't like what they're hearing. And so I ask the parents to be very open-minded, to be quiet, and just to allow the energy exchange between me and their child. And a lot of them are very good with it. I think there's only been once that I was like, okay, you're blocking, you don't really want to know, we're done. And the child got upset because actually she was 16 or 17. She was under 18, but she was like, no, I really want to get this done. And I was like, okay, do you get the permission? But you're just going to have to, at this point, step out of the room. I mean, the mother agreed, and we finished. But it was, you got to have that consent. And they do have, and unfortunately, because of, there's charlatans in every walk of life, every profession. But I do have, for those that are under 18, the parents have to sign a consent form. For the healing sessions, especially Reiki or any type of healing modality, they have to sign a release form. So it's just, we have to protect ourselves, so.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because, like I said, I do a lot of fairs and things like that, and I've always been very strict on that rule. There's been a few times when somebody slipped in and you've been partway through, because I'm sorry, not everybody looks like, you can't, there's no gauge sometimes. And I had a young girl this week, and it was tough, but her parent paid for the reading, so then you realize at that point the parent is giving permission. So I don't have a problem with that. It's when they come in alone that I won't do it. So I understand. How do you feel about couples readings?
I don't like those either.
Me either.
Not in a reading. Now, counseling is different, but with the reading, their mindset, and I've tried it, and we've learned by, hey, let's give it a try. But usually opposites attract, and I found with many couples, it's very rare that they're both on the same page and they're both very open. There's always one that's, I don't believe in this, I'm going to deny everything, I'm going to push, and it just really affects the reading for the other person that really wants it. It's like, no, I don't. It's one at a time. So, yeah. I've had a couple of different things happen with that. I remember I was at a psychic fair a few years ago, and without even asking, the wife came in and sat down, and the husband just grabbed a chair from somebody else's booth, and I kind of went, no, you need to leave. And the wife was just like, and the husband just gave me this look, and I went, no, I didn't, this is one person at a time, and this is her reading. If you want one, you can sign up. And it was a really good thing that I did that. And I don't want to get into a lot of particulars because that's not fair, but it was interesting. And what I learned from that is I need to offer a couples reading, but I need to offer it on my terms so I don't have that situation happen again. So now what I do is they have to be a half an hour, and it has to be 10 minutes with him, 10 minutes with her, and 10 minutes together, or 20, however long. It can be longer than a half an hour, but it has to be those three separate. And they do pay a little more for it because it is actually, in all fairness, 3 different readings. But there's just no other way, because I have to make sure that the situation is healthy for both of them. Exactly. And a lot of times I did find it, and I know you've had situations like this too, where if they're in an abusive relationship and one wants to control everything that's being said, So that's another reason why it's no to okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's has happened. It was interesting because I was at a psychic fair a few months back, and a couple came in and sat down, and it was before I came up with my strategy for couples readings. Throughout the course of the reading, I realized they were on their second date. And I'm thinking, this is a little odd. First of all, your second date is at a psychic fair, and it's this is a little intimate, isn't it? But who might argue? So,
wow.
I know. Can you imagine doing that on your second date? I don't think so. I don't think it's funny. I've been married for 32 years. I'm not sure I would want my husband involved in my reading.
No, not at all.
Just not at all. It would, that's a little scary. I have to ask you another question. What day in December is your birthday?
The 29th.
I'm the 8th. Had to be asked.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Same as Jim Morrison, according to my husband. So
you're the 8th, so you're Sagittarius.
And you're not.
And then and I'm Capricorn, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So tell me, do you always get ripped off did you always get ripped off at Christmas?
Yeah, I did. But see, my mom was Sagittarius. So my mom knew she was ripped off. She was December 15th. Her birthday is December 15th. So she didn't like that happened even to her. Is people would wait, oh, well, here, this is your birthday and Christmas present. And she was made sure that didn't happen to me as much as she could. She would get upset at family members, but she spoiled me because she knew what it was like. So, after she crossed over, it was kind of hard. It was because I was like, oh, no one's going to do that like she did.
No. And it's interesting how that happened.
Right. But, my husband, he does so good. He does. He makes sure that Christmas and birthday is separate. So.
Absolutely. And it's good when they realize these things. It's about breaking them in correctly. So obviously you've done a good job. So what did you do before you did this?
Oh my goodness! Actually, it was like so many of us. We knew in our youth we had these gifts and these abilities, but I grew up in a really strict Christian household. Be quiet, don't say those kind of things. That's not right. That kind of thing. And then it was all right. And I went through like an identity issue just because of everything that had happened, because my mom and biological dad got divorced. My mom got remarried. Then my mom, but I had saw her activate cancer within herself way before she got remarried. But it didn't take effect, or it didn't show up till years later. So watching this whole thing that was going to happen play out really made me start questioning everything, and everyone that I went to try to get counsel and help from didn't have answers for me. They didn't know. I mean, not like today. Today there's many people out of the closet now are in our profession that someone could go to if they had issues. But we just didn't have that in that time, someone to go to who would understand us and not throw us in a mental ward or, a hospital or something like that. So I learned really quickly to keep my mouth shut, but it also put me I turned to alcohol for a little bit, from teens to early 20s. And then I realized that, let me tell you something, your guides can speak loud when they want to. And I was drinking to drown them out, and they just got louder and louder. And I'm like, I've got to stop. So I did, and just kind of was like, all right, clean myself up. And then got married and had kids, and I just concentrated on being mom. But everything was being, I don't know about you, but being pregnant blew that door right back open wide wide. Because my oldest son, our oldest son, would, and you see them outside of you, because so a lot of times their souls don't plug in until about 7 months, because there's nothing to do in the womb. And I'm not saying that they're not, it is actually a living being that's inside of you, and they're just connected to their soul outside, kind of like astral traveling. All right. So he would always talk to me. I would have conversations with him before he plugged in. He even told me what to name him. This is my name. You're going to name me this. Okay. So, I mean, it was just a very beautiful experience, and that just everything come rushing right back in. And I was still kind of hesitant because I was always told to be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. So just kept it kind of like with the family, for the longest time. And then my husband was military, so we moved around. I homeschooled. I was teaching my children, and it was funny because I kept getting visions of doing this type of work. And I was like, let me raise the kids first, and then I'll get to it. Not realizing that everything I did as a mom really helped with the training for now. Because of what I did, whether it was schooling and helping them to socialize, taking them to sports events, volunteering within the community. We volunteered together. And that was just very, in a way, is very spiritual.
Absolutely.
And it helped them It helps them to see those that are in need, that there's always people, who are in need. And so they got to see things firsthand. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
it's so interesting. I know so many people.
Yeah.
There's so many people who tell me that they drink to drown out those voices, and that they can't. And it's so funny because I always say, but don't you find they come louder? Mm-hmm. And sometimes they sort of look at you like you have 3 heads, and then they go, well, yeah. Well, then isn't that telling you that that's not working?
Exactly.
And it's really interesting. And some of them still haven't put it together, even though they know because they've been told, but they also know that their voices are telling them that we're just going to get louder. This isn't going to work. And they still do it. So I just what's the definition of not learning? And that would be the one.
Right.
So absolutely. It's funny because like I said, I do a lot of fairs and things like that, but it's interesting to me how many of us come from backgrounds in the financial sector or the technical center, but it's all things to do with very analytical backgrounds. And I think that's because we need to have something that's different that we can focus on.
Right.
So
exactly.
It's just one of my own little things I sort of think of. So how can our listeners get a hold of you if they'd like to book a session with you?
Well, sure. Through my website, whitesagewoman.com. You can just contact me through the website. That's just the easiest way because it'll send an email to me. So my email's a bit difficult to try to say on there. That's why it's like just go to the website and contact me through there.
Absolutely. Well, it's so funny because you're so busy as well, so I get that. Now, it's so interesting because I'm looking, and I always know it's White Sage Woman. I've known that for a long time. But let's talk about white sage for a few minutes. I didn't realize that white sage was on the endangered list.
Wow, really? I didn't either.
There you go.
How about that?
There you go. So that white sage, I guess it's a ceremonial. I'm not sure exactly. Is on the endangered list. Now it can't, of course, with proper care and use, we can bring it back because I don't think because it is something that it's not a tree, so it's a little easier to bring back in my mind. But I did find that out today, and it actually was very interesting. It was on a Facebook forum called 3 of Cups Tarot Community, and it was because they started talking of Palo Santo, and then somebody brought up the fact that white sage was also endangered. Palo Santo, of course, is something that's native to Peru, and it's a little harder to, sage is a little easier to grow than tree is. So the things came together. I happen to have been very luckily gifted with huge branches of Palo Santo from somebody that was walking in Peru and picked it up off the forest floor.
Wow.
So I have enough to last me 6 lifetimes, because I have about 10 branches that are about an inch thick and probably about 10 inches long. So they're quite
wow.
nice. I know. Yeah. When we get together one day, maybe I'll have to gift one to you, but we'll have to wait for that to happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I know we're going to meet up. I know we're going to get together, and you'll have to come to the shop, and you could do some classes, too, and sell your books, and it'll be fun. Book signing, it'll be fun.
Absolutely. That would be fun. That would be fun. Yes, it would be. And speaking of me, I'm going to be in Oneonta, New York on the last weekend of the month at the Shift Healing Fair at the Holiday Inn. And that show runs from 10 to 5 both days. And you can get a hold of me through my website at bettyjaneware.com. And I'm always pleased to meet and talk to people. I'm also on Facebook, and it's Betty Jane Ware on Facebook. I know are you on Facebook as well?
Yes, I am. And yours is Lady Betty Jane Ware, by the way.
Oh, that's my personal. No, that's a different page. That's a different page.
Oh, okay. That's your personal one. Right. Your business pages. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's just because I wasn't seeing enough of the people that I actually knew and spoke with day to day, and I was missing a few invitations and things. So I set up another page for my clients and things. Gotcha. I do have people on both, though.
Yeah. So and my pages are Goldylocks Temple of Healing. You just type that in, and then Goldylocks Production, and there you go. I mean, I don't mind a personal. It's Tiffany Michelle White. So that's my personal page. But, sure, as long as you just go and like our business pages, that's go and hit all our business pages. That's what's important, because that's where we're going to post most of what we do on there.
Now, if somebody wanted to listen to a rebroadcast of this, where could they find that?
Wow. Okay. Well, they can, with the same link of the show for Blog Talk Radio, you can listen to it in Blog Talk Radio archives. You can listen to it now in Spreaker, Spreaker.com. Goldylocks Production has a channel there. And I highly recommend that people go to Spreaker as a place to listen to all the archive shows and follow us. If we get 100 followers, then we get to submit our shows to iHeartRadio. So I really want everyone to just concentrate on, you want to listen to the archive shows, go to Spreaker. But all of our shows, our archive shows, are featured on Blog Talk Radio, on Spreaker, on YouTube, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and TuneIn. So there's multiple branches of this production tree that you can go and listen to the archives. But the one I would like everyone to focus on right now is Spreaker.com, so we can add iHeartRadio to one of those branches on the tree.
Very cool.
So,
and maybe I can put that link on my Facebook page. Maybe if people want to find out how to get there, that would be awesome. I say me, but I'm actually looking at Tiffany as I say that, my own personal Roz. I think I did go in and like it. I know I did go in and like it and sign up for it to get my updates and what have you. So I've done that. So if we can just encourage all of our listeners to do that as well. And that would be awesome. That would help us.
Yeah, it would. All you need to do is go to Spreaker.com, type in Goldylocks Productions, one word, and Goldylocks with a Y. Goldylocks Productions, one word, and you will see the channel come up. And then you will have to create a Spreaker account in order to follow. But that's okay. You just enter your details and then follow us. And what I also had found out and liked is that if you download the Spreaker app on your phone, whenever I upload any of the shows there, you automatically are notified, hey, the show's ready to go, and you can listen to it from your phone anywhere you are. So it's really great. Go to Spreaker, follow us, download their app so that you can listen to all our shows.
That's so helpful. And so I know you do a number of shows, so let's do a little plug for some of the other members of the Goldylocks and the family. Let's listen to who are the bears in our family.
Woo! All right, we have 10 active shows right now, and we're going to have 11 by the end of May because she's joined already, but she's not ready schedule-wise until the end of May to start her show. So, all right, let's go through pretty quickly. Monday, we have 2 shows on Mondays, and let me just make sure I can remember all the names of their shows. But really, the ones I want to concentrate on, let's think about Tuesday here on Betty Jane's show day, is Tuesdays and Thursdays seem to be really locked down with 4 shows a day. But we can start with Monday at 12 noon Eastern time. We have a new show. It's Revealing the Divine Light. That's a new show with Dee Claire as the host, and Dee is from the UK. So it's really interesting listening. I love the English accents and listening to her talk. And she has interesting guests as well. So that's 12 noon Eastern time on Mondays. And then 3 p.m. we have the Inner Speak Soul Adventure with Jean Adrian. And she has wonderful decks that she has created where it's not really oracle cards. They're like DNA activation cards. They're really great. So check out her show. And then Tuesdays is 12 p.m. Jimmy Mack's show. 2 p.m. we have Ingrid with Living in Partnership with Spirit, Ingrid Turner. 4 o'clock we have a shaman, Anthony Rodriguez, the Transformational Sacred Medicine Drum Show, or Sacred Drum Medicine Show. And he has great ancient words of wisdom. And his drumming is really nice, too. And then, of course, 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays is the lovely Betty Jane show. Wednesday, 8 p.m., we have Brian Rawls with The Magical Journey. Thursday at noon is Hollis Jesse, which is Infinite Solutions 8 Soul Remedies. And then 1 p.m. is Ivana. She's known as the Butterfly Medium. She's up there in Canada with you. At 3 p.m.
Ivana's lovely. I met her. Yeah.
Because we're running out of time. 3 p.m. is Shelley Hoffberg's show. She is an elder in our field. She's located in LA. 8 p.m. Thursday night. This Thursday is a new show that I talked about. Is Tammy Dean, and her show is called Beyond the Screen. So be sure, if you want to check out this schedule, go to the Goldylocks Productions website, which is Goldylocks.com. The CT is for Connecticut. And remember that Goldylocks is with a Y. Click on the radio tab, and all the radio schedule shows up there. And we even have an archive box on there as well, so you can listen to archive shows, which is fed through Spreaker. So there's a lot of more shows coming up, too. I have several more people to get back in touch with who want shows. So stay tuned. This is great.
Well, so thank you so much
for the time tonight. Thank you so much for having me on your show, Betty Jane, and at least in the front lines with you.
Yes, thanks for being the voice tonight. It's so great to have you, and I know I'm going to be talking to you during the week and next week as well, so thank you very much. And your contact is whitesagewoman.com if you want to get in touch with Tiffany, or you can get in touch with me at bettyjaneware.com as well. So everybody have an awesome full moon night. Thank you. Good evening.
Good night.
Good night.